and their 3 small children, but Uncle Timko promised they'd be assigned their own place soon because of his job superintending the municipal square's public restroom, a government position. Third corner, Daniil's niece and her friend, but they hardly counted since they ate little and spent most of their time at the institute. Fourth corner, Daniil himself, bunking under Uncle Timko's mother, great Aunt Nika. In the hallway, someone's mother-in-law or second cousin, or who really knew, the connection was patchy. On the balcony camped second cousin Glebik and his fiancée and 6 hens, which were not included in the count, but who could forget the damn noisy birds? That made 13. He must have missed someone. Daniil's name had bounced from waitlist to waitlist for 3 years before he'd been assigned to his apartment by the Kirovka Canning Combine, where he worked as a packaging specialist. The 10-story paneled Novostroika was newly built and still smelled of mortar. His 5th-floor suite was no larger than the single room he had shared with his parents in a communal apartment, but he could call it his own. The day he'd moved in had been nothing short of sublime. He'd walked to his sink, filled a glass of water, guzzled it down, then lay on the kitchen floor with his legs squeezed into the gap between the stove and the table. Home was where one could lie in peace on any surface. He felt fresh and full of hope. Then came a knock at the door. Daniil's grandmother burst into the apartment, 4 mildewy sacks of grain and a cage full of hens strapped to her back. She spoke Ukrainian, which Daniil barely understood, having been raised and educated in Russian. She cursed her neighbor, who either was in love with her or had it in for her and had threatened to poison himself, or her, or perhaps both. Daniil simply nodded, ashamed to ask for clarification. And so Baba Ola stayed. 2. 2 had been fine, until 2 became 14. Minimum dimensions of space necessary for human functioning, 85 processes. Sleeping, based on average Moscow male head to toe, equals 175 centimeters. Standing gravitational effect included equals 174.5 centimeters. Opening oven based on average Moscow female buttocks to baking tray equals 63.5 centimeters. Washing face elbow to elbow equals 52 centimeters. Opening refrigerator door span area equals pi times 55 centimeters squared divided by 4. Lacing up boots floor space equals 63.5 centimeters by 43 centimeters. Pulling out dining chair floor space equals 40 centimeters by 40 centimeters. Mending clothing, shoes, other floor space equals 40 centimeters by 40 centimeters. Child rearing floor space for corner time equals 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. Watching educational television programs equals 64.5 centimeters by 40 centimeters. Listening to educational radio programs equals 64.5 centimeters by 40 centimeters. Evacuating bladder volume equals 400 milliliters. Mental training based on average Moscow male brain volume equals 1,260 centimeters cubed. Dreaming equals 1,260 centimeters cubed. Or infinity? Breathing torso expansion equals 1.5 centimeters. Yawning torso expansion equals 3 centimeters. Sneezing torso retraction equals 3 to 4 centimeters. Stretching limb extension equals not applicable, etc., etc. Minimum dimensions necessary for human functioning total equals 9 meters squared. Daniil stuffed his hands back into the damp warmth of his pockets as he climbed the narrow set of stairs to his floor. Suite 56 greeted him with its familiar smell, boiled potatoes and fermenting cabbage. "Daniil, is that you?" Aunt Nika hollered from the kitchen. At 65, her voice retained its cutting timbre, perfectly suited for her job hawking seed oils at the bazaar. "Come look, we get barely any gas." Daniil cringed. He had wanted to remain unnoticed by his relatives for a few seconds longer. When he opened the closet to hang his coat, a pair of gray eyes stared back at him, round and unblinking. Daniil started. He had forgotten Grandfather Grishko, who slept standing, as he used to do while guarding a military museum in Kiev. This was the 14th member of the Blinov residence. Daniil closed the door softly. "Took me 3 hours to boil potatoes," Aunt Nika told Daniil when he stepped into the kitchen.